Hey guys, Welsknight here, bringing you another brand new episode of Unabridged from the Primus server. Check this out, I've been busy between episodes. Got some windows done, got some exterior details done. I did decide to change up the tower just a little bit, and it really does make a difference from a distance. I really like the new design better than the old one. I think it turned out really well. But the exterior of the house is pretty much done. I added lighting through carpenter's blocks. That way I can hide it without having to worry about anything. You basically just take a carpenter's block, shift right click it with a piece of glowstone dust, and then just apply whatever texture you want to it. It works out really well. Also borrowed Non-Sanity's mechanism stuff to get those windmills up there going. So I've got my own little power source. It was kind of the obvious choice. For those of you who did not see my Horizons Daybreaker series, where I used windmills. Windmills are awesome because they do not require any kind of fuel, and they just constantly generate power. Not a huge amount of power, but the amount that they do generate is greater the higher up in the air they are. So a higher elevation, like, on top of a mountain, generates quite a lot of power, and 5 of those are definitely going to meet my power needs, at least for the foreseeable future. So that's pretty much what I've got going on there. As for the interior of the house, didn't really do a whole lot. I basically took my stuff from outside and brought it in here. I did add a couple hardened energy cells just to store my power, an energetic infuser for when I start getting flux-powered devices, and then I moved the bed and the bookshelves here. We got equipment and food, and then we got a little storage room up here for all my other stuff and all that good stuff. And then this room is still unused. I haven't decided what I'm going to do up here. But today's project, we're going to need cobblestone, and we're going to need a relatively large amount of it. You should be in there. And I think my chisel is... Yeah, there it is. Because what we're going to be doing in today's project is we're going to be putting in the basement. So, the basement is going to be where I'm storing pretty much all of my technical devices and stuff like that. So I've kind of hollowed out an area. I was kind of trying to think about how I could work around these, because these are a little goofy. They have to be here. This is covering up the chests and stuff from the auto smelter. And I suppose I could move the auto smelter, but I figured what I'd do is I'd just leave it up there for now. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, there's really no reason I couldn't move the auto smelter. That might be the way to go. I mean, it fits so beautifully right here, but it would also fit beautifully down there. You know what? I'm going to move the auto smelter. That's going to be the easiest way to do this. And then I can have that whole basement area open and available. So let's do that. I'm going to get some stuff prepped and ready to go here, guys, and I will be back with you in just a moment. All right, guys, I am back. Now we have some space to work with down here, and I definitely intend to take advantage of it. So there's 2 things that I want to put down here. I want to have a wall of machines over here, where all the mechanism stuff is going to go. I'm not going to have a huge amount of mechanism, but I'm running low on decent armor, and I think my next set of armor is going to be steel. We're going to need mechanism for that. And then I'm going to have, I think, my own little tinker smeltery right here as well. I'm thinking I'll do like probably a 3x3, even though I'd rather go larger than that. It'll do. I'm just really tired of having to run all the way into town to make use of it, of the tinker smeltery there. So I'll probably put one of those down here as well. But before we can do that, we got to get some design stuff going here. So let's see what we've got. We can maybe use detailed cobblestone bricks. They look a little bit more worn down than the aligned cobblestone bricks, which is why I'm going to use them. And we'll just put some of those in like this. I think that'll probably work out pretty well. And we might just do that. I'm trying to decide if I want to do that for the whole basement, or if I just want to do that for the floor or for the... I need to figure out what I want to do there. I know I definitely want my walls to be bricks. I might mix up the floor. Now, it looks like if that's going to be the case, I'd be wasting a lot of time. But you got to keep in mind, with a hammer, I can tear this up really quickly. So that's a definite advantage. We are going to go ahead and fill this line in, even though it really doesn't have to be filled in. I'm going to do it anyway. Just up to right there. And that way we've got kind of our limits set. We don't want to build outside of those lines. And I'm looking at this and I'm thinking the floor is definitely going to have to change to something else, although I don't know what just yet. Right here, that should give us enough space back there to hide whatever we need to hide as far as wiring and stuff like that goes. Any of you who've been watching my various Minecraft modded series for any length of time probably know that I really do not like showing these wires and stuff like that. I like to hide them whenever possible. I just don't think I think it really kind of takes away from the aesthetics of a build if it's just distracted by wires and all sorts of crazy stuff like that. So what we're going to do is we're going to do our best to conceal those. And that means making the basement just a little bit smaller than the upstairs, but it's only going to be by like 2 blocks. So if you didn't see me building it this way, you'd never even know. And that's kind of the goal, is to keep that stuff hidden behind this false wall. Now, as for this, I'm thinking the floor definitely needs to be changed to something else. I don't know what yet, though. Let's start tearing it up. And we'll look at some options. There are quite a few actually really good options within the chisel mod. Maybe what I'll do is kind of a varied floor. Hello, level up. I love level ups. They make me happy. There's quite a few options within the chisel mod for textures that can be kind of mixed matched together. Texture variation. Where it won't look out of place, but it gives you just enough of a visual difference that it really kind of makes a build come together. So we're going to try a few of those, and a few examples would be like the French cobblestone tiles, the small cobblestone tiles, and the other French cobblestone tiles? The other French cobblestone tiles. Okay, I guess there are 2 French cobblestone tiles. That's a little strange. Either way, they're a little bit different. So, for texture variation, it's all about randomness. You just want to kind of put stuff down wherever you can and then mix in other materials and all that kind of good stuff. There's no real science to it other than you just kind of want to mix stuff up as best you can. So, as you can see here, I'm not really planning these. I'm just kind of putting them down wherever I feel like it. And that's the whole trick when it comes to making a floor with a lot of texture variation, is that there's no real right or wrong way to do it. And that makes a huge difference. We might have to mix in a little bit more, and you can always fine tune it later. Keep that in mind. Let's maybe put one there, and maybe here. And then we'll put another one of those there. Yeah, that'll do. And then we'll fill. Is there really any difference between those? They look identical. Why do they have separate things in the chisel mod? That kind of... I don't even know. I don't know how I feel about that. That kind of throws off my whole game plan. That's alright. We'll just mix it up as best we can. And go from there. I thought those were different textures. That's really kind of frustrating. But it gives us a nice variation in the floor. to the point where it kind of looks like there's a pattern, but at the same time, you can't quite figure out what the pattern is, and that's kind of what we're going for. The next thing we need to do is we definitely need to get some stairs in here, and I think I want the stairs to start right up here, except for then I won't be able to get back up, will I? I'm not going to be able to get back up without crafting stuff anyway. So let's just make ourselves some stairs. And we're going to need to grab some wood. That's going to be really important. But first, let's take a nap. So let me get some more work done in the basement, guys, and I'll be back with you in just a little bit. All right, guys, I am back, and I've got a little bit more done. We do have the stairway in place. I've got the spot where our smeltery is going to go kind of hollowed out. For now, I'm moving my ores down here because I'm going to need them. Once we start getting into the tinker stuff, they're going to be needed. And I don't want to keep running up and down the stairs. I can move them back up later. I just grabbed a dolly from the Just Another Better Barrels mod, or Jabba for short, in order to get that taken care of. So I'm thinking what we do is we put our smeltery in here. I managed to kind of poach some smeltery parts from a village that I found. But we're probably not going to be able to finish this just yet. We'll probably have to wait at least a little bit until we get some other stuff going before we can finish that. And then we'll put maybe casting tables over here and the big drain block making ones, casting basins, I should say, over here or something. And all of our tinker's equipment behind us, maybe in this corner. I don't know. We'll figure it out. But next, I want to get this stuff going as well. So we've got a power line running in, which is going to allow us to get at least a couple machines. That's where that casting basin went. I'll just put it right there for now. There we go. That will allow us to get at least a couple machines going. And what we'll do is we'll just put one here and one there. So we've got our pulverizer right here. We don't want any output at the moment. And we'll say all smelting, none. There we go. And that should get the trick done for that. Did I have another? I thought I had another, maybe not. Am I losing my mind? I think I'm losing my mind. It's been that kind of a day. But we've got some of our machines going here, which is what we want. Next, I am going to definitely want to get some mechanism stuff. So let me get some of that stuff all crafted and ready to go, and I will be back in just a little bit. All right, guys, I am back, and we got some basic stuff going here. In my alloy smelter, I've got some grout cooking up into seared bricks so that we can expand and finish off our smeltery. And then hiding behind these chests, we've got some plain old vanilla hoppers that I had left over. I figured, you know what, might as well make use of them for now. We can upgrade them and all that good stuff later. But we do have right here our metallurgic infuser, and that is what is going to allow us to get steel. So that's exciting. That's extremely exciting, in fact. Let's get it cooking. Now, fair warning, these things, they take a little bit of time, and on top of that, auto eject, output, input, none. None. There we go. Okay, so it's going to auto-eject into this chest. So as I said, it takes a little while, and it's a little bit loud. Just a bit. You also want to make sure... Listen to that. Man, that's very loud. We're just going to go ahead and turn blocks way down for now. But this over here is the enrichment material, and if you put in more than you're actually going to use, you essentially waste it because you'll have to flush it to put something else in there, and it just doesn't turn out well. But you can see that spitting out now enriched iron, and enriched iron is used to make steel. How do you get it? Well, you enriched iron with coal, and then it turns into steel. So basically, for 1 stack of coal and half a stack of iron, you can get half a stack of steel. So 2 coal, 1 iron will essentially make 1 steel, and that's great for us. But that's going to take a while to get running. So in the meantime, let's do some more work on our smeltery. I know that I'm going to want to make a bigger smeltery than this. That's kind of a given. So let's go ahead for now and build this up to about here, I'm thinking. Right about there should do. And then we're also going to need... Did I not bring any wood? I did not. Okay. Well, we'll need a tool forge. And we'll need some sort of other something as well. We'll probably use aluminum for the tool forge. Why don't I just run upstairs and grab that quick? I just need enough wood to make some of these tinker's things. Let's just grab a stack of spruce. I'd rather have more than I need and have to haul it off later rather than have to keep running back and forth, because that's no fun. So, tool forge is pretty easy. You just make a crafting station. You put solid blocks of some material right there, and then those on top. No? Oh, you know what? Because it's not a crafting table. That is where I derped up. It's a tool station. Like so. There we go. Now we got ourselves a tool forge. And I think we're going to put all of our tinker stuff over here. That's kind of what I'm thinking is going to be the best spot for it. So why don't we do that? We'll put a crafting table, a stencil table, and all the there's a whole bunch of different types. One of them, stop it, Skype. Now is not a good time. Oh, come on. That one. There we go. So stencil table, part table. We'll put both of those over here, I guess. And then I need... what is it? I believe it's a chest. Oh, really? I have 23 chests right here. I'm losing it, guys. There we go. A pattern chest. And I'll just put that hiding back there. That should do the trick nicely. So we're good there. Next, let's grab a little bit more of those seared bricks. And we can start making a few of these. Let's make 4 to begin with, I think. As well as 4 smeltery drains. I know I'm going to need a smeltery controller. And I know I'm going to need a seared tank. And I know I'm also going to need more inventory space. Let's just get some of this out of here. There we go. Okay, so here's where we're going to put our first set of drains. We'll just go there and there. And a faucet and a faucet. Ultimately, there's going to be 3 on each side, is what I'm thinking. And that way, we can use this for reliable ore doubling without all the work that goes into all that kind of stuff. All we will need is lava over here, at least. As for our controller, I think I'm going to put the controller, like, right here. Because I don't want anything else on this side. And then we want the tank probably right next to it, like that. And now we've got a functioning smeltery. It will work. It will get the job done. It may not be the prettiest thing in the world, and it may not be the most efficient thing in the world, but it will get the job done, and that's the important thing. The other thing I want to do is get that coal going right away, and turning this stuff, oh, not you, enriched iron, there we go. And that should start spitting out steel, I believe. Let's just double check that. But we should see steel popping up here. Yep, steel dust, and then we just smelt that, and it turns into steel ingots. Perfect. Man, that's not bad at all. But I think that's about all that we have time for in this episode, guys. Everything is up and running. We have a working smeltery that I just need to put some lava in it. Need to get a few more seared bricks and things like that. But all in all, not too bad. Guys, if you did enjoy this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave me a comment. I do appreciate it, and it really helps out my channel. You can also find me on Facebook, Twitter, and Twitch. There are links in the video description below, so check that out as well. But other than that, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll definitely see you next time.